has already begun to slow. 4 quiet places are waiting in a single line. Nothing will rush you from one to the next. The hours can blur without effort. This is one long stretch of calm. The spaces will change, but the pace will not. And the night will keep carrying you forward. The red paddle wheel turns through black water. Moonlight breaks across each wet board. The riverboat moves without hurry. No horn sounds over the Mississippi. The stern deck keeps a low amber glow. River mist gathers beyond the rail. The wheel keeps its steady rhythm. At the aft gate, a brass chain crosses the steps. The hook is set. A small sign reads, "Crew only." The deckboards shine with recent rain. Dark seams run toward the stern. No shoe crosses them now. Beyond the rail, the paddle wheel fills the night. Red slats rise from the river. Each one sheds a narrow silver line. The lines fall back at once. The boards enter the water again. The cycle stays slow and even. A low engine pulse moves through the deck. It reaches the rail. Then it fades into the river sound. At the wheel housing, black bolts ring the iron frame. Water beads along the lower edge. No bolt shifts under the strain. A grease cup sits near the bearing cap. Its brass lid stays tight. A thin, dark mark runs below it. The mark ends near the mounting plate. It does not spread. The machinery keeps its quiet order. Along the stern rail, 4 deck chairs face the river. Their white slats look gray at night. Each chair remains folded. One canvas blanket rests on the nearest seat. Its blue stripe shows under the lamp. No hand lifts it. A round table stands between the chairs. A glass lantern sits at the center. Its flame-shaped bulb glows without flicker. Beside it, a folded river map lies under a brass weight. The Mississippi bends across the paper. No finger follows the channel. At the port corner, a life ring hangs from 2 hooks. White rope circles the red band. The coil stays neat. A depth gauge is fixed beside it. The black needle holds inside the green range. No warning mark appears. Near the steps, a mop bucket rests by the wall. Its wringer stays raised. The wheels point toward the service door. A broom leans beside it. The bristles spread across one wet board. Nothing moves them. The service door has a narrow glass pane. Warm light shows through it. No shadow passes behind the glass. A clipboard hangs near the latch. The top sheet reads, "Stern check." 3 boxes are marked in pencil. The final box remains empty. No new line is added. The paper stays dry under its cover. Above the door, a red lamp marks the exit. The cover is dull with mist. The bulb stays steady. Farther forward, cabin windows form a warm curtains cover most of them. One window shows only an empty chair. The chair faces a small, round table. A cup rests upside down there. No lamp burns inside that room. Below the windows, white paint meets a black hull stripe. The river touches the lower edge. Small waves slide away from it. Each wave opens into a wider curve. Then the dark water closes again. The boat leaves no sharp wake. Across the river, distant lights sit low on the bank. Some are yellow, some are pale blue. Their reflections break under the paddle wash. The colors stretch, then they return to darkness. A channel marker blinks far downstream. One green point, then nothing for several breaths. The wheel turns through that pause. The deck lamp stays warm. The river keeps moving below both. At the stern bell, a short rope hangs from the clapper arm. The knot is firm. No hand pulls it. The bronze surface holds a faint red reflection. It bends with each turn of the wheel. The bell remains silent. Near the rail, a metal ash cup stands empty. Its lid keeps one bead of rain. The bead does not fall. A narrow drain runs along the deck edge. Water gathers in the channel. It slips through the grate without sound. One leaf rests beside the grate. Its brown tip points toward the river. No breeze lifts it. Above the stern, a small flag hangs from a short mast. The fabric barely stirs. The stars remain hidden behind cloud. The captain's cabin sits higher and forward. Two dim windows face the dark channel. No figure stands behind them. Only the wheelhouse instruments glow inside. Green lines, soft amber numbers. Nothing flashes red. A navigation light shows along the roof edge. The lens stays clear. The metal bracket holds firm. From below, the paddle wheel gives one deeper knock. One board meets heavier water. Then the usual rhythm returns. Nothing follows the sound. No alarm breaks the deck hush. The riverboat keeps its measured pace. The Mississippi widens beyond the stern. Mist softens both banks. The last town light fades behind the bend. The red wheel keeps turning. The wet boards keep rising. The black water keeps closing over them. Nothing asks the night to hurry. Nothing waits for a landing. The sleeping riverboat follows the current under its steady amber lamps. Near the outer rail, a coiled deck line rests on a cleat. The rope is dark with rain. One loose fiber catches the lamp. The coil keeps its round shape. No knot tightens. No line pulls toward the river. A brass cap covers the next post. A narrow passage leads below. The wheel turns beyond the wall. Its rhythm reaches the steps. No passenger comes down after midnight. The lower deck keeps a warmer hum. Pipes pipes run beneath the ceiling. Small lamps mark the service path. At the first landing, a rubber mat covers the floor. Watermarks darken one corner. No fresh print crosses them. A brass handrail follows the steps downward. Its surface feels cool. A strip of red paint marks the final tread. The engine room door stands at the corridor end. A round window shows soft amber light. The latch remains closed. Beside it, a panel reads, "Authorized Crew." The letters are black. The warning plate stays flat. A gauge cluster hangs above the handle. Oil pressure, cooling water, generator load. All three needles hold steady. No needle enters the yellow band. No warning lamp glows. Through the round window, the engine room looks ordered. Large pipes cross the far wall. Painted arrows show their direction. One pipe carries a blue band. Another carries green. A third is marked in red. The colors stay muted under the lamps. No valve wheel turns. No steam crosses the glass. A low generator tone fills the corridor. It never rises. It settles beneath the wheel rhythm. At the service desk, a logbook lies open. The latest entry shows the river mile. A pencil rests in the center fold. The time column ends at 1:10. The next line remains blank. No hand completes it. A steel cup sits beside the book. Its rim catches amber light. The bottom is dry. Above the desk, a route chart covers the wall. Black bends mark the Mississippi. Small numbers follow the channel. A red pin marks the boat's last check. The pinhead stays bright. No second pin has been added. Near the chart, a radio handset rests in its cradle. The cord hangs in one loose loop. No voice reaches the speaker. A green power light remains on. Static does not break the silence. The radio keeps the channel open. Farther along, linen carts stand beside a supply room. White towels fill the top shelves. Blue blankets rest below. Each stack stays square. No corner slips from the cart. The brakes remain set. The supply door has a small keypad. One blue light shows above the numbers. No code is entered. Inside the narrow window, shelves hold soap boxes, paper cups, cleaning cloths, sealed coffee packets. Nothing leans from the rows. No carton has opened. The room keeps its quiet inventory. At the laundry alcove, two machines stand dark. Their round doors reflect the passage lamp. No drum turns. A folded sheet rests on the counter. The edges meet cleanly. A clothespin lies beside it. The pin remains closed. No hand reaches for the sheet. The counter stays clear. Near the bulkhead, a water pump runs behind a metal 4 screws hold the panel. A small label reads, "Auxiliary pump." 1 green point shows beside the label. The point stays steady. No service light appears. The passage bends toward the dining salon. A velvet curtain covers the doorway. Its lower edge touches the carpet. Beyond it, chairs rest upside down on tables. White cloths cover the tabletops. The room is dim and empty. A chandelier hangs above the center aisle. Only 2 bulbs remain on. Their light falls in pale circles. At the sideboard, silver lids cover serving trays. Each handle points forward. No dish waits beneath them. A water pitcher stands upside down on a towel. 3 glasses dry beside it. No drop runs from the rims. Near the piano, a black bench sits under the keys. The fallboard remains closed. No sheet music rests above it. A red cord crosses the small performance area. The brass posts keep their places. No one steps beyond them. At the salon windows, the river moves close to the hall. Dark water slides past the glass. The wheel wash reaches the lower pane. 1 silver line appears, then another. Both vanish under the black current. A framed riverboat photograph hangs between the windows. The older vessel carries 2 tall stacks. Crowds fill its bright upper deck. Tonight, the real decks remain empty. The photograph keeps the busier hour. The passage keeps the hush. Near the aft stairs, a fire cabinet stands behind glass. The extinguisher gauge shows green. The seal remains whole. A red alarm box sits beside it. The cover is shut. No lever has moved. At the bottom step, a small drain crosses the floor. Its metal slots look dark. No water reaches them. The rubber mat stays flat. The brass rail stays cool. The wheel keeps turning beyond the wall. 1 relay clicks inside the engine panel. A brief click. Then the generator tone returns. Nothing changes in the gauges. Nothing changes in the river rhythm. The lower deck keeps its warm and careful order. Near the bilge panel, a white strip marks the inspection line. The strip remains dry. No warning float rises. The sleeping riverboat keeps its engine steady. The red paddle wheel keeps its slow turn. The Mississippi carries both through the dark. A pale band forms above the eastern bank. The red paddle wheel still turns through black water. The riverboat does not wake at once. No landing light appears ahead. The stern lamps remain warm. Mist stays low above the river. The wheel keeps its measured rhythm. At the aft gate, the brass chain remains set. Crew only still faces the steps. No hand reaches for the hook. The deckboards show more of their wet grain. Dark lines run toward the stern. The brown leaf remains by the drain. faces catch the gray sky. Each board enters the water again. A low engine pulse still moves through the deck. It touches the chair legs. It fades near the rail. The 4 deck chairs remain folded. The canvas blanket stays on the nearest seat. Its blue stripe looks clearer in dawn. The table lantern still glows at the center. The flame-shaped bulb remains steady. The river map stays under its brass weight. The Mississippi bends across the page. No new position is marked. The paper keeps its quiet course. At the life ring, the white rope remains coiled. The depth gauge still holds inside green. No warning sign appears. The mop bucket waits by the service wall. The wringer stays raised. The broom keeps its angle beside it. Through the door window, warm light still fills the passage. No shadow crosses the pane. The stern check clipboard remains under its cover. 3 boxes are still marked. The final box is still empty. No pencil reaches the page. Above the door, the red exit lamp stays on. Mist softens its plastic cover. The bulb does not flicker. Farther forward, the cabin windows grow pale. Curtains remain closed. The empty chair stays visible in one room. The upside-down cup still rests on its table. No lamp burns beside it. Nothing changes behind the glass. Along the hall, the white paint meets the black stripe. Small waves continue sliding away. The wake stays broad and soft. Across the river, bank lights fade one by one. Their reflections shorten. The gray water holds less color. The channel marker still blinks downstream. One green lamp. Then the pale river returns. At the stern bell, the short rope remains untouched. The bronze surface keeps a faint red line. No sound comes from the clapper. The ash cup near the rail stays empty. Its bead of rain is gone. A wet mark remains on the lid. Above the stern, the small flag stirs once. The fabric lifts from the mast. Then it falls back. The captain's cabin windows remain dim. Green instrument lines still glow inside. No red warning appears. The navigation light holds along the roof edge. The lens stays clean. The bracket remains firm. Below, the paddle wheel gives one deeper knock. One board meets the river harder. The steady rhythm returns at once. Past the stern gate, the lower passage stays warm. The rubber mat still covers the landing. No fresh print crosses it. At the engine room door, the round window holds amber light. The latch remains secure. The 3-gauge needles stay steady. last lamp stays on above the main bench. Glass globes stand in rows beneath it. The shop window is dark now. No key turns in the front door. The workshop keeps one warm circle of light. It falls on a cradle, a brush, and a green painted base. Everything beyond it softens into shadow. At the center of the bench, a half-made globe waits in its clamp. Inside it, a white church stands on a small hill. 3 black pines rise behind it. No snow has been poured into the water. Nothing drifts around the steeple. The scene remains perfectly clear. A bottle of glycerin stands with the cap on. A pair of tweezers rests beside it. Their points stay closed. A shallow tray holds tiny silver stars. They lie in a small scatter near the edge. No fingertip sorts them again. At the back of the bench, a jar of white glitter sits under the lamp. The glitter has settled in a bright, low slope. Nothing lifts above the glass. The lampshade is white enamel. Its rim has a faint chip on one side. The chip stays dull in the light. Above the bench, narrow shelves hold finished globes. A red barn, a skating pond, a deer beside a fence. Each globe curves the room a different way. One keeps the lamp, one keeps the window, one keeps only darkness. The front window looks onto the sleeping street. The painted letters on the glass show from inside. Snow Globe Workshop in gold and white. Outside, the sign is dark. No light hangs over the door. The street lamp at the corner does the rest. Snow remains in a low line along the curb. A parked car sits under the bare tree. No tire moves through the slush. At the register, small cardboard boxes wait in a stack. Soft tissue rises from each open top. Blue labels sit on the front edges. Pine Church, Moon Sled, Winter Bridge. The handwriting is neat and quiet. A receipt book lies under the till. The top page has been torn away. No new number is written below. Near the pegboard, a row of bottle brushes hangs in order. Funnels rest between them. Tiny clamps stay on their hooks. Each tool keeps a short, dark shadow. The shadows stay close to the wall. Nothing reaches across the bench. At the sink, 3 empty jars stand upside down on a folded towel. The rims make a clean line. No drop slips from them. The spout above the basin points down into steel. One ring of dried soap sits near the drain. The ring does not spread. A towel hangs from a lower hook. The bottom edge is stiff from old water. It does not move in the warm air. At the back table, an open catalog lies under a snowflake paperweight. Children, dogs, lamp posts, tiny sleds. The pages stay flat. A pencil rests between them. No order is marked tonight. The heater vent under the wall shelf keeps a low line of sound. It stays even. It never rises above the room. Once, from the cooling glass, a tiny tick can be heard. One tick. Then the warm hush returns. Nothing follows it. The rows of globes do not tremble. The glitter jar does not stir. At the front display, 3 finished globes sit on a raised shelf. A sleigh, a snowman, a chapel under stars. Their water stays perfectly still. No hand from the sidewalk shakes them awake. The display keeps its pose. Near the counter, a brass key hangs on a string by the wall. The tag reads "back door." The key stays flat against the paint. Beside it, a radio charger keeps one green point of light. The speaker remains silent. No late weather report arrives. The first lamp above the front shelves is off. Only the bench lamp stays on. That leaves deeper shadow above the boxes. The shadow does not trouble the shop. It only makes the lit place smaller. Glass, powder, tiny trees, painted wood. At the side table, one globe base is clamped upside down for repair. The black felt circle shows at the bottom. No screw turns in the bracket. A wooden drawer beneath it is left slightly open. White packing wool can be seen inside. It stays tucked where it is. Under the bench, black and white floor tiles run to the wall. One black square is chipped at the corner. The chip is easy to miss. The workshop does not feel empty. It feels paused, as if the last careful hands have just gone upstairs to sleep. Nothing begins here. Nothing needs finishing now. Past the main bench, the room narrows toward the packing table. The light is lower there. Shadow collects under the shelves. A long table stands beneath the back window. Cardboard rings are stacked at one end. Tissue paper rests in folded drifts beside them. A roll of silver ribbon lies on its side. The loose end curls toward the wood. It does not slip any farther. 3 finished globes wait in packing rings. One holds a red barn. One holds a skater on a pond. One holds a deer by a fence. No box is pulled around them. No lid is folded shut. The table keeps its work in order. At the drying rack, painted bases stand upside down on pins. Black lacquer, walnut stain, cream enamel. Their felt circles show in a clean row. A little smell of varnish remains nearby. It stays low in the room. Beside the rack, a magnifying lamp bends over a tray of tiny houses. Its lens is clear. Its bulb is off. The houses stand in 2 neat lines. White walls, green roofs, dark little windows. One chimney remains stands in a small dish by itself. The glue bottle beside it is capped. A clear bead has dried at the tip. A pair of cotton gloves lies near the lamp base. One glove is turned palm up. Fine white dust rests on the fingertips. At the back window, snow has built along the lower edge outside. The alley remains pale and empty. A dumpster lid holds a weak stripe of light. No truck backs to the curb. No boot crosses the snow. The alley keeps its flat, cold quiet. A heater under the window clicks once. Warm air moves around the table legs. The ribbon end does not move. Along the side wall, cubby shelves hold figures in labeled trays. Children, dogs, snowmen, lampposts, tiny sleds. Each label is written in blue ink. One tray has been left halfway out. It stops at the edge and stays there. At the far corner, a glass front cabinet keeps the fragile pieces. A skating couple, a white gazebo, a bridge with black rails. The cabinet door is shut. The brass knob is cool and dull. No latch turns. A work stool waits in front of the cabinet. Its round seat is worn smooth. One rung shows a pale line of dried paint. Near the stool, a pencil sharpener is clamped to the table edge. A cedar shaving rests beneath it. The shaving keeps its spiral. At the supply wall, hooks hold bottles of blue dye and pearl powder. A metal funnel hangs between them. Its throat reflects one pin of light. A ledger lies open on the shelf below. Model names fill the page. Church Lane, North Pond, Cedar Ridge. The last line stops halfway across. No total is written below. A pen remains tucked in the spine. At the packing station, a rubber stamp sits beside the tape gun. Fragile is cut in backward letters. The red ink pad is closed. A stack of mailing labels waits under a paperweight. The top label has curled at one corner. The corner does not lift farther. From deeper in the room, a compressor gives a small, settling sound. One sound. Then the heater hum remains. Nothing follows it. The cabinet glass does not shake. The figures stay in their trays. A narrow stair climbs to the loft above the workshop. The railing is painted white. The paint has worn thin where hands once passed. No foot comes down from above. No board answers from the loft. The upper floor keeps its sleep. At the bottom of the stair, a tin of mica flakes sits with the lid off. The flakes lie flat and bright. No sparkle rises into the air. A tiny broom leans against the stair post. Its bristles are silver with dust. The handle stays in the corner. The back room feels smaller than the front shop. Closer, quieter, more exact. Each object waits inside its own outline. Nothing presses into anything else. The pause holds. A rack of finished bases hangs above the sink to cure. The drips beneath them have already gone hard. No new line runs down the sides. At the drying line, paper stars hang from clips. Their gold paint has gone nearly matte. None of the clips lets go. The night stays in the alley. The snow stays at the window. The workshop stays in its careful pause. Nothing begins at the packing table. Nothing needs another hand. The small winter worlds remain exactly where the last lamp left them. Near the cabinet, a tray holds loose metal caps. Their ridged edges stay bright. No one counts them now. By the sink, 3 narrow funnels stand upside down in a rack. The rims make a quiet silver line. The line remains unbroken. A pale gray begins at the front window. The shop does not brighten at once. The last lamp still holds the main bench. The painted letters on the glass are easier to read now. Gold remains on the upper strokes. White fills the rest. Outside, the curb looks flatter in the dawn. The parked car remains where it was. No engine starts on the street. At the bench, the half-made globe stays in its cradle. The white church and the 3 pines remain still inside. No snow has been added yet. The green base keeps its dried shine. The lamp circle around it is smaller now. Morning has taken some warmth from the bench. The glycerin bottle remains capped. The tweezers remain beside it. The tiny stars remain in their tray. No hand comes back to the work surface. No test shake sends the water moving. The piece keeps its clear, small world. Along the shelves, finished globes reflect more of the window and less of the lamp. One holds the street. One holds the door. One holds only gray. At the register, the stacked boxes remain ready. Pine Church, Moon Sled, Winter Bridge. The blue writing looks sharper now. The receipt book under the till has not moved. The torn edge of the last page stays clean. No new number appears beneath it. A faint draft passes under the front door. The lower curtain does not sway. The stitched loops stay in a straight line. Outside, snow along the curb has turned from blue to gray. The bare tree holds no movement. The street lamp has lost some of its glow. At the sink, the upside-down jars remain in a row. The rims still make one bright line. No drop slides from the glass. The soap ring near the drain is easier to see now. It keeps the same thin circle. Nothing disturbs the basin. Near the painted bases, the faint thumb mark remains on one rim. Morning makes it clearer. It still belongs to the piece. The row of colors stays the same. Blue, black, red, walnut brown. felt circles remain hidden above. The rack remains exact. No base has been lifted from its pin. At the front display, the sleigh, snowman, and chapel remain in the window. Their flakes lie quiet at the bottoms of their worlds. No passing hand wakes them. The brass key behind the counter keeps its place. The tag still reads "back door." The key lies flat against the wall. The radio charger keeps one green point. No weather voice comes through. The speaker remains closed to the morning. At the packing table, the silver ribbon is still curled toward the wood. The shipping rings still cradle the barn, the skater, and the deer. Nothing has shifted overnight. The magnifying lamp remains folded. The tray of tiny houses remains in rows. The chimney in the dish remains by itself. The dried glue bead at the bottle tip has not changed. The cotton gloves remain where they fell. One palm stays turned upward. At the alley window, the snow line looks whiter now. The dumpster lid holds no moonstripe anymore. Old slush marks show at the curb instead. No truck arrives for deliveries. No back latch clicks. The alley keeps its slow, cold quiet. The cubby shelves still hold their labeled trays. Children, dogs, snowmen, lampposts, tiny sleds. The half-pulled tray still stops at the edge. Nothing pushes it in. Nothing draws it farther out. Inside the cabinet, the skating couple and the gazebo remain under glass. The brass knob stays dull. The stool in front keeps its pale paint line. A small tick comes from the heater under the back window. One tick. Then the low hum returns. Nothing follows it. The cedar shaving stays curled below the sharpener. The mica flakes remain flat in their tin. At the loft stair, the white rail shows more wear than it did at night. The upper door stays shut. No board answers from above. The tiny broom remains at the post. The gold paper stars still hang from their clips. No fleck falls from them. Back at the front bench, the lamp remains the warmest point in sight. It touches the cradle. It touches the glitter jar. It stops at the bench edge. Beyond that edge, the workshop turns to gray. Not empty, not awake, still held between those states. Soon a lid will close. Soon a cap will tighten. Soon the first finished globe may leave its ring. But not now. Not in this small hour before the lock turns. The shop still belongs to stillness. It keeps its rows of glass. It keeps its tiny houses and waiting snow. It keeps the half-made world under the last lamp. The street outside remains quiet. The painted letters remain clear. The little worlds remain unshaken until day begins. Near the front glass, one finished globe shows a tiny sled on a hill. The red paint on the sled remains bright. No flake rises around it. museum is closed beyond the velvet ropes. The public halls are dark. One storage lamp remains on. No visitor waits by the gallery doors. The rope line ends near a narrow staff passage. A brass hook holds the final cord. The red velvet hangs in a soft curve. Nothing touches it. Behind the passage door, the storage room stays cool. Tall shelves stand in quiet rows. Crates rest under white dust covers. The air smells faintly of wood and paper. A green status light glows above the door. It does not blink. The lock panel shows secure. No badge taps the reader. The first shelf holds framed paintings in padded slots. Only their backs can be seen. Canvas labels face the aisle. Each label stays flat. One frame has a blue tag near the corner. The string is tied twice. No knot loosens. The frame remains upright. A rolling rack stands beside the shelf. Its wheels are locked. Foam blocks hold the lower rail. Nothing shifts on the metal bar. At the center table, cotton gloves rest beside a clipboard. The gloves are clean. The clipboard holds a condition report. No new mark appears. A pencil lies across the top line. Its point faces the lamp. The eraser is worn square. No hand lifts it. Above the table, a task light shines through a white shade. The light stays low. It reaches the report and one corner of a crate. The far aisle remains dim. The nearest crate is marked fragile. Black arrows point upward. A paper seal crosses the lid. The seal remains whole. Beside it, a smaller box holds carved wooden figures. The lid is closed. A foam strip shows at the seam. Nothing presses against it. The climate panel hums on the back wall. Temperature reads steady. Humidity reads normal. No warning color appears. A vent sends cool air along the ceiling. The stream stays even. No cover cloth lifts. No tag moves on its string. At the end of the aisle, a marble bust waits under muslin. The cloth follows the head and shoulders. A small fold rests near the base. It does not slide. The pedestal below it stands on a wooden dolly. 4 wheels sit under the corners. Each brake is set. The dolly remains still. Across the room, a cabinet holds old silver objects. The glass doors are locked. Soft gray liners cover the shelves. The silver keeps a muted shine. A museum number is printed beside each piece. Small cards sit in clear holders. The type is neat and dark. No card has turned. Near the cabinet, a padded cart waits by the wall. Its handle is wrapped in black foam. 2 straps hang from the side. The buckles stay closed. A folded blanket lies on the lower shelf. Its corners are square. One loose thread rests near the edge. The thread does not move. The storage floor is smooth gray concrete. Yellow lines lines mark the safe paths. The paint is worn near one turn. No wheel crosses it tonight. A red fire panel glows near the exit. The screen reads, "Normal." No buzzer sounds. The cover stays shut. Above it, an exit sign marks the service stair. The letters remain clear. The stair door stays closed. No hinge gives a sound. From the public hall, no music reaches the room. No guide speaks beyond the wall. The museum keeps its night state. The storage room keeps the rest. A small clock hangs above the packing bench. The hands move without sound. No one checks the hour. The bench remains empty. On that bench, tissue paper lies under a glass weight. The sheets are pale and thin. Their edges remain aligned. No corner lifts. A roll of archival tape rests beside the paper. The dispenser is closed. The blade stays covered. Nothing is being wrapped. Near the floor, a black cable runs inside a metal guard. The cover sits flush. Every screw remains seated. No edge rises. A relay clicks once inside the climate cabinet. One click. Then the low hum returns. Nothing follows it. The paintings remain in their slots. The crates remain sealed. The velvet rope waits outside the staff door. The museum stays quiet behind it. Near the far shelf, a row of empty frames rests in padded slots. Gold leaf, black wood, pale oak. Each frame has a paper corner guard. No guard has moved. A shallow drawer beneath them holds hanging wire and brass eyes. The parts sit in labeled cups. Nothing rolls across the felt. No cup has tipped. A narrow stool waits under the inspection lamp. Its seat is black vinyl. One silver leg shows a faint scrape. The stool does not shift. Beside the stool, a soft brush rests in a paper sleeve. The bristles face inward. A printed line reads, "For surface dust only." No sleeve is torn. On the lowest shelf, sandbags sit in a neat row. They are used to steady heavy frames. The black fabric looks dull in the dim. No bag has shifted. A small leak sensor lies near the wall seam. Its green light stays on. The concrete around it remains dry. No warning tone sounds. At the door to the public hall, a narrow window shows only darkness. The velvet rope is faint beyond the glass. Past the first storage aisle, the room opens wider. The ceiling is higher there. More shelves rise toward the dark beams. The same cool air moves between them. A row of sculpture palettes stands near the center. Each palette has a white number. Gray blankets cover the forms. No outline breaks the cloth. One covered shape is tall and narrow. Another is low and broad. A third rests inside a wooden brace. All three remain still. At the first pallet, straps cross over padded blocks. latchets are folded down. Red tags hang from the handles. No tag swings. A floor label reads, "Do not move." The black letters are bold. The tape edges lie flat. No wheel touches the border. Near the pallets, a lifting frame stands under the beam. Its chain is gathered in a basket. The hook rests inside a rubber cradle. Nothing hangs from it. The control pendant is clipped to the post. Up and down buttons face outward. No button lights. No motor starts. Along the left wall, flat files hold prints and drawings. Wide drawers sit in even rows. Each brass pull has a number. Every drawer remains shut. A humidity card rests in a clear slot nearby. The indicator stays blue. No dot turns pink. The case stays dry. At the map cabinet, a linen cover protects the top. A wooden ruler lies across it. The ruler is straight. No edge hangs over. A small magnifier rests beside the ruler. Its lens catches one pale circle. Then the light slips away. The glass goes clear again. Near the far aisle, shelves hold ceramic vessels. Each vessel sits in a foam ring. White bowls, dark jars, painted cups. Nothing touches its neighbor. One jar has a repaired line near the neck. The fill is pale and smooth. The repair remains quiet under the light. No new crack appears. A blue tray holds loose fragments from another piece. Each fragment has a tiny number. The pieces stay in their marked spaces. No piece turns over. At the conservation cart, brushes lie in a fabric roll. The handles point the same way. A soft cloth covers the metal tools. No tool is exposed. A bottle marked distilled water stands in the top tray. The cap is tight. The bottle is half full. The surface remains level. Below it, small weights rest in a divided box. Round, square, narrow. Each one keeps its place. No compartment is empty. The aisle ends at a locked textile room. A small window shows rolled fabrics inside. The rolls lie on wide shelves. Their wrappers stay clean. One label reads, "Embroidered Panel." Another reads, "Silk Banner." The writing is faded but clear. No wrapper has opened. The textile room light is off. Only the aisle lamp reaches through the window. It makes one pale strip on the floor. The strip does not move. A cart beside the door holds acid-free boxes. Their lids fit tightly. Cotton ties cross the larger box. The bows remain firm. At the bottom shelf, a long tube rests in two brackets. The tube is capped at both ends. code sits near the center. No scanner light passes over it. The security camera above the aisle shows one green point. It does not rotate. Nothing enters its view. The lens stays dark. A service intercom hangs below it. The handset rests in its cradle. No channel opens. No voice arrives. From deeper in the building, a freight elevator hums once. The sound is low. The doors do not open here. Then the sound fades. The storage room returns to fans and cool air. No cart rolls. No crate shifts. The shelves keep their calm weight. At the packing station, foam sheets stand in a vertical rack. White layers alternate with gray. The edges remain square. No sheet is pulled free. A label printer sits beside the rack. Its screen is dark. A blank strip shows at the slot. No label feeds forward. Near the printer, a sealed binder reads, "Handling procedures." The cover stays flat. A red tab marks one section. No page turns. The aisle lamp reflects in a stainless table. The reflection is soft. A faint scratch crosses it near one corner. The scratch stays dull. At the far wall, a pressure display holds its number. The digits remain steady. No arrow rises. No alarm tone sounds. One vent damper clicks above the textile room. A brief click, then the airflow returns. No wrapper stirs. The sculpture covers keep their folds. The ceramic trays keep their order. The flat files stay closed. Nothing asks for attention. Behind the velvet ropes, the museum holds many silent rooms. This one holds what is not on display. Everything remains safe. Everything remains still. Near the textile door, a shelf holds rolled conservation paper. Each roll rests in a wooden cradle. White labels face the aisle. No roll shifts. A narrow cart stands beside the shelf. Its top tray holds clean blotting sheets. The lower tray holds padded corners. Nothing has been removed. At the floor line, a door sensor keeps one blue light. The light stays steady. No chime sounds. The door remains secure. A folded cart cover hangs from one peg. The fabric stays smooth. No strap comes loose. A pale gray reaches the high windows near the ceiling. The storage room does not brighten at once. The aisle lamps stay on. The climate panel keeps its green line. The staff door remains locked from inside. The velvet rope waits beyond it. No visitor crosses the public hall. No guard opens the passage, yet. At the first shelf, the painting backs show more detail. Canvas canvas seams become clear. Blue tags remain tied to the frames. No string has loosened. The rolling rack still stands beside them. Its wheels remain locked. Foam blocks stay under the rail. Nothing shifts with the morning air. At the center table, the cotton gloves remain beside the report. The pencil still crosses the top line. No fresh note appears. The task lamp keeps its small circle. The crate marked fragile remains sealed. The black arrows still point upward. The paper strip across the lid stays whole. No corner has lifted. Beside it, the smaller figure box stays closed. The foam line remains visible at the seam. No sound comes from inside. The box keeps its place. On the back wall, the temperature stays steady. Humidity remains normal. The panel shows no warning. The low hum continues. Cool air moves from the ceiling vent. The flow touches the hanging tags. The tags do not sway. The muslin covers remain flat. At the far end, the covered marble bust keeps its shape. Head, shoulders, pedestal. The small fold near the base remains. No cloth edge slips. The dolly beneath it stays square to the yellow line. All 4 brakes remain set. No wheel turns. The floor stays clear. The silver cabinet reflects a little more gray now. Its doors remain locked. Object cards stay inside their holders. No card has shifted. The padded cart near the wall keeps its straps closed. The folded blanket remains on the lower shelf. The loose thread still rests near the edge. Nothing catches it. The fire panel continues to read normal. The red screen stays calm. No buzzer sounds. The exit door remains shut. At the packing bench, the tissue paper still lies under the glass weight. The archival tape remains in its dispenser. The blade stays covered. No package begins. Past the first aisle, the sculpture palettes remain under gray blankets. The red tags hang from the ratchets. No tag moves. No strap loosens. The lifting frame stands under the same beam. Its chain remains gathered in the basket. The hook stays in its rubber cradle. No motor starts. Along the wall, the flat file drawers remain closed. The brass poles catch pale light. Each drawer number becomes easier to read. No hand reaches for them. The humidity card near the map cabinet remains blue. The wooden ruler stays across the linen cover. The magnifier rests beside it. The lens keeps one faint reflection. At the ceramic shelves, bowls and jars remain in their foam rings. The repaired jar keeps its pale line. The fragment tray stays ordered. No piece has turned. The conservation cart remains where it was left. Brushes stay inside the fabric roll. The water bottle remains capped. Small weights keep their divided spaces.